Hello and welcome to your 7th tutorial on JavaScript. Today we'll be talking about fetch. So what fetch is, it is a API which provides an interface for fetching resources, including across the network. It will seem familiar to anyone who has used XML HTTP request, but the new API provides a more powerful and flexible feature set. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to XAMPP and we're just going to click on download, and we're going to download it for our Windows or Linux or OS X, whatever you're working with. And when you have it downloaded, go ahead and open up your Windows or Linux C folder, then go to XAMPP1 and htdocs. Inside of here, put your HTML file in which you're going to be working in, and you have to start Apache and MySQL to have localhost working. Right here, all I've done is I've typed in localhost /js7.html. So that is where we're going to be working. You're probably wondering what all of this code is, so let me explain it to you. We're going to go ahead and go to a website called mocky.io. We're going to make it a little bit bigger, click on switch to advanced mode. I'm going to type in access control allow origin and a asterisk, and right here I'm going to paste an already pre-prepared object array, and I'm going to click on generate my HTTP response, which happens really quickly, and it is right here. We copy this, paste it here. Here is my array, and what I'm going to do is I'm also going to paste this right here. So paste like this, and we can go ahead and close this, and I've made a fetch with my mocky.io URL. Then I've typed in then, and I've opened a function which is going to be response, and in my console log I've displayed response. Let's save this. Let's go to our local host and save, and when we go to inspect and console, we're going to get response. So now what this response tells us is that everything is okay. We see it right here, but what our problem is to get our array right here. So what we're going to do is we can comment on this. We're going to type in response.json brackets then and function with data as its argument. We're also going to open its curly braces just like so, and I need to close this data right here. Now inside I'm going to type in console.log and data. Now save, refresh. When we write our console log data and we save, refresh, go into console, we're going to get our 3 objects, and we're going to get our text for each of them with their own IDs 1, 2, 3 and different titles, etc. Now if we move this down and we create a new then function like so, and inside we write return response.json, we will get this error which says that in promise response is not defined. So what we'll do is we'll change this with data. We'll also delete this code right here, and if I save, refresh, we also add response here instead of the data from the bottom part, and when we click on it we'll get our object arrays. Now the other thing that we can do is, instead of writing console log And inside, instead of writing console log, we're going to write document.write, and with this we're going to get data's first element, which is actually the 0 element, and we're going to write .body. Now if I save, I'm going to get its first value, so the 0 element, and it is this text. It's very random. So in our first then code, we're making it JSON, and in the second one, through response, we're using it and getting the data's first value displayed on our page. Now you can easily get errors with this sort of code, so what we can do is we can quote unquote catch it, and we're going to write catch. We're going to make a function, and if we get an error, we'll open up quotation mark, we'll open up curly braces, and inside we'll type in console log, and we'll write error, comma, error, and save, refresh. We don't have errors yet, hence why we don't get anything. And so let's say I was to change this to T, so I made it wrong. I'm going to get these errors automatically through my catch error. Let's get rid of this T, we don't need it interfering with our code. Now we obviously can't catch every single error with catch, hence why there's another way of catching errors, which we'll do right now. Let's go ahead and type in then function and response. When we open its curly braces, inside we're going to write an if statement with response dot status equals 200, and curly braces once more, and inside I'm going to write return promise dot reject, and I'm going to make a new error with response dot status text, like so. Now the other thing that should be done is we need to write return promise, so if everything is okay, right, promise resolve response. We see that everything is fine, and I get my text back on my web page. Now if we go ahead and put our JSON and our status in variables, and we put it above fetch, when we save and refresh, we see that everything is still fine. Let's add a second argument to fetch, which will be put in curly braces. So we're basically requesting something, and when we go to network and this, we'll see all of our object arrays, and we'll also see the post request right here. And if we want to send something to the back end, what we have to do is we basically have to type in body user ID equals 1, we have to add a comma right here. Now when we save and refresh, what we're gonna see is request payload, user ID, and 1. So that was all that I had prepared for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.